and welcome back to Residual Royalty Academy. I'm filming this video from my car on my phone, so if the sound quality is a little different, that is why. But in this video, I wanted to talk about the money pots, or the matrix that many people get trapped in. And it really hurts to see it, it really hurts when people get trapped in these things that are not designed to help them, but they think it is designed to help them. So I wanted to give you these 3 money pots or matrix traps that they will try to trap you in, that if you can, you should try and avoid, in my opinion. Okay, so the first one is university. So let me just start by saying I don't have any problems with the school system. For the most part, it's completely free until you're like 18 years old. You're learning how to read and write, you're learning how to interact with people. It's a great thing to do. But as soon as you start having to pay £10,000-20,000 a year for a degree which in most cases isn't going to help you that much, unless you're doing medicine, law, or architecture, something you're really interested in that you have to kind of qualify through university in, then most of the time it's not what you want. If you want to learn marketing, you don't need to go and study outdated marketing concepts at a university. What you want to do is go and work for a marketing company, go and approach a CEO and say, hey, I want to work for you for free for a few weeks. I want to learn this trade. And, if I'm any good, then maybe you can keep me on and give me this job. And then you're going to be earning money and you're going to be learning skills at the same time, rather than paying for outdated knowledge from people who haven't even run a business, these lecturers mostly themselves. So like I say, if you want to be a doctor or a pilot, oftentimes you do have to go the traditional way. But for most people studying arts or some of these other degrees like history, most of the time it's completely useless and you're just going to get yourself into a heap of debt. And I learned that myself. I studied chemistry at university and I've not used it for one single second since I left. So that's just from my personal experience. That seems to be the first money pot in the matrix. And what tends to happen is this university degree, it tends to lead you into a job. Now these matrix pots are actually all interlinked. So the university degree teaches you these skills to get the certain job, which is in itself a matrix. So these jobs, most of the time, they're 9 to 5, which is your most productive hours of the day, and they're sucking your time and they're sucking all of your energy, often in return not for that much. Now again, obviously there are exceptions. If you're going to go and work on Wall Street, earn $100,000 a year with a $200,000 bonus, then that's amazing, because you can use that money to invest and to ultimately buy your time back, because time and freedom is our number one asset. But if you're going to go and work an average wage job that really has no prospects, or one where you're giving a lot more than you're getting back, then that's often not worth your time. If they, for some reason, think that they don't need you anymore, they're just going to kick you out and they don't care because their shareholders have got all the money. So oftentimes it is best to be the business owner, or maybe I'm completely biased. Maybe this is just my way of thinking. Maybe for some people a job is good, but if you're watching this channel, odds are you have ideas for a beautiful, abundant life full of freedom and time. And this second money pot in the matrix, the job, often doesn't give you those most valuable assets of money and time. And now let's talk about the third matrix, which again is completely linked to the first two. So after university, you go and get your job. And then what most people do, as soon as they've got their job and they've got their steady salary coming in, they say, oh, hey, well, now I need to go and buy a house. The American dream. Grant Cardone talks about this. Grant Cardone talks about this a lot. He says the American dream is just a way for the bank to create an asset. When the bank sells you a mortgage, that's an asset to the bank, because they're getting your interest payments every month. And if you miss 1 or 2 of those payments, they're going to take the house off you. So that is not really an asset to you in most cases. Obviously there's exceptions to the rule. If you're buying a rental property, you're going to get 5 people in there. They're going to pay the mortgage for you. The value of the house in most cases is going to go up. Now that is a good deal. But if you're just buying a house to live in, you're effectively also trapping yourself to one location. I've also seen people who I've associated with in the past, and I've seen them tweeting things like, oh, I saved all this money for this house and spent all this time getting this house, and now I don't like my neighbors. And it's like, well, if you just rent instead and you decide you don't like your neighbors, you can just cancel that contract and move on to another place, or move to another country, or anywhere you want. So those kind of 3 honeypots, not money pots, sorry, I was misreading my notes. Those 3 honeypots, they are designed to trap you, and they're all interlinked, as you can see. So you go from school, and the school system kind of teaches you to get a job, and the job, then the thing to do is to get a mortgage, and then you work for the mortgage. You're literally working for the bank for the next 30 years in order to get that house. But I just wanted to make you aware of these honeypots that are in the matrix. Now, some people will not resonate with this at all. Some people will say, oh, you're completely crazy. I just want a job and a salary and a family and all these nice, beautiful things. But I just wanted to give you an alternative perspective on these things. So let me just quickly summarize. So the university is often not what you want unless you need a really specialized skill that you can't get in any other way. The job, unless you love it and it's your complete passion and you're getting well rewarded, then oftentimes it's just sucking your time and energy and it's taking your number one asset, which is freedom. And number three, the mortgage, it traps you to one location, whereas if you rent, you're not going to be trapped to that location. And people say it's throwing money away. It's not really true. And also the mortgage is an asset to the bank, oftentimes not an asset to you. It's a liability. So I hope that's a helpful video. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned because I've got some cool things coming your way to really help you and serve you in your KDP journey. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.